Yo, what is good, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, X-Flick, right here. Now, as you can see, this is the second installment of What If Deku Had an Explosion quirk. I know, it's been a while, but it is back. So, if you guys do enjoy this, be sure to like, subscribe, whatever that jazz, and yeah, just get ready for this epic What If. So, let's just get ready for What If Deku Had an Explosion quirk. Let's go! Now, before this What If starts up, I just have to do a kind of a age kind of warning or whatever. This part is going to be very brutal and kind of cruel. So if you're not into that kind of stuff where it's brutal and possibly animal abuse, be sure to not watch this part. That being said, in the last part, Deku was abused by his adopted father. His parents died, he left, blew up a bunch of people, and found a dog. This dog's name was Iggy, and he had a sand quirk. If you guys get the reference, that's cool. But yeah, so pretty much he's there, and he's around 8 years old. So yeah. Anyway, let's just get straight into the story. So, where we're gonna start back up, Deku is now 9 years old. It's a 1 year time skip from the last part. So he has been blowing up people, killing a bunch of people, and all of that. And he and Iggy are a dynamic duo. He'll touch the sand particles that Iggy is flinging around, and then he'll detonate them when they're near. They are a dynamic duo. Even though Iggy's sand quirk isn't that strong, it still works with Deku's quirk. So yeah, anyways, so where we're gonna get to is pretty much Iggy. He and Iggy have pretty much just finished off killing a bunch of people in an alleyway, a bunch of thugs. They were pretty much being a bunch of mongrels and attacking random people and just being horrible people in general. So he went along and ended their lives. He blew them up. So yeah. And as he's just finishing off the final guy, he puts his hand on his face and just blows it completely off. He feels a presence around him, and Iggy starts barking. As he's looking around, he's like, what's going on? And suddenly, a bunch of random men in these weird kind of special operations kind of uniforms just appear. Just surrounding him. They seem to be invisible, but they just appeared. If you guys have seen Invincible, the kind of military guys, when the what's his face? The Omni-Man scene, House Brutal scene happens. If you guys have seen that, it's pretty much that kind of thing happens. So pretty much they just randomly appear. And Deku, he's on guard, he's like, what's going on? As behind him, one of them shoots him with a tranquilizer dart, and he's like, he falls unconscious, flat on the floor, and Iggy's freaking out. He's like, whoa, what's going on? He prepares to fight, and then he gets shot as well with a tranquilizer dart. And pretty much Deku wakes up, and he's in a chair. He's strapped up in a chair, and he's wondering what's going on as he's in this room. As this doctor opens up the door, he sees him and he explains the situation. He says that he is a part of an organization that wants to test his abilities, wants to bring out the best, wants to evolve his quirk to the maximum potential it can have. And yeah, so he tells Deku that, and Deku's like, he just says like, I don't want to be here, I don't care if you're going to make me stronger, I'm fine the way I am, let me go. And the guy saying that his living conditions will be very good, and that he'll be much better than he was when he was living out in the streets. As Deku, he's thinking about it, and he just kind of gives up. He gives up on trying to fight them because he knows he won't win. So he pretty much gets sent to another room as they make him overuse his quirk a bunch. They are torturing him. They are blowing up his body. That he's being burnt. He's being slashed. They're making him detonate more explosions than he can physically handle as an 8-year-old. Or 9-year-old, sorry. As a 9-year-old, as they're just absolutely tearing into him. It's kind of like with Hawks' backstory, except this is on a whole new level. At some point, he has to fight some crazy quirked and wild beasts, some tigers, some bears, random just crazy animals that would kill a normal person. He has to fight them and kill them. And yeah, he does this pretty much every day. He's tortured. He gets probably about 3 hours of sleep. He's overused. Just, his life is horrible. And this goes on for 3 whole years. 3 whole years he is tortured and beaten. And his quirk is just like overused. Anytime he uses his quirk now, it's just agonizing pain for him. So one day they're being tortured and trained and they're being beaten, and one day he finally gets to see Iggy for the first time in 3 years, as they tell him to fight her, and he's like, no, I'm not gonna fight my best friend, that's not gonna happen. And they say, you gotta kill it or we will. And he's like, no, that's not gonna happen, I'm not going to kill my best friend. As randomly a strange thing pops up in the corner of the room as it shoots Iggy square in the head, killing him. It was a strange laser that just shot him straight through the head. And Deku goes off the hook. He has gone ballistic. He's rage-filled. He just saw his best friend get murdered straight in front of him, as he has a sort of quirk awakening. The quirk cancelling barrier that they're about to put down just doesn't work on him, as that just explodes. The quirk barrier, like the machinery controlling the quirk barrier, doesn't work. It explodes. As sweat starts dripping off of his hands as he throws it towards the glass that he knows that the people are at, as it blows up the entire wall, collapsing some of the roofing at the same point. His explosions have gotten far, far stronger, and his sweat also drips a lot quicker. It's kind of like Bakugo's sweat as well. So he's kind of like that. So he doesn't have nitroglycerin sweat, but he sweats more than an average person. And yeah, so he can use that as a weapon as well. As he goes up to the people, as he just starts beating on them. He just starts punching and kicking and beating on them, as he leaves them there half dead, They beg for their lives. They're like, please, I'm sorry. We were just ordered to by the higher ups. Please stop. As he just looks at them and starts walking away. Still, they start to sigh a relief as he says, I don't care if you were ordered to. You did it. As he brings up his hand and snaps his finger. As all of them explode from the inside. They just blow up, collapsing the roof, and the entire room just gets caved in. As he just goes around blowing up the entire facility, just blowing up people, blowing up everybody, as the entire kind of facility just collapses, or the inside of it anyway. As he walks out of the exit, he sees that it was the Hero Commission building, the main one. As he has realized that the Hero Commission ordered him to be tortured and beaten for 3 years straight, and they ordered his dog to die. But at the moment, he's too beaten and bloodied. Like, the past 3 years, he hasn't had a chance to heal. They've fed him the absolute minimum. He's almost dehydrated, and yeah, so he doesn't have the energy to kill or to blow up the entire building. So he just walks away. He just goes up to an alleyway and finds some clothes in a dumpster, puts on a hoodie, and yeah, he just finds a hoodie, some trousers, and just blends in. And as he's been walking around for about an hour, just stumbling over, he's approached by a tallish woman with a fur-ish coat and blue skin. She asks him, like, what's he doing? Like, why is a little kid out here just stumbling around? As he doesn't talk, he doesn't say anything, and she says, hi. My name is Chisase Kizuki. As he looks up and she sees the pretty much dead in her, like, he's just got no life in his eyes. He's pretty much dead. He's just got no light in his eyes. He's just a walking corpse pretty much. As she, like, kneels down to him and just comforts him, saying, hey, it's gonna be okay. Like, do you have any parents? Like, where are they? He says, like, he just tells her that they're dead. As she, like, apologizes, she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I can take you back to, like, where I work if you want. As he nods, as he doesn't really see anything wrong with it. He's 12 years old, but he knows that this could be a trap and he could get, like, abducted or whatever. But at the moment, he really doesn't care. He doesn't care anymore. He's lost his best friend. He's on the verge of death. Anything would be better than this. So she walks him back to her car, and they get in the car. She asks him a bit more. She asks him, like, hey, like, what's your name? Like, what's your quirk? Do you have a quirk? How old are you? He says, like, my name's Izuku Midoriya. I think I'm 12. I don't know. And he just stops on the quirk. He doesn't say anything. As she says, hey, it's okay. Like, I don't care if your quirk is villainous or whatever. It's fine. He tells her that his quirk is called Detonate. As she asks, like, oh, what's that about? He says that it's, if anything he touches, he has the ability to blow up. As her eyes widen, she just says, like, that's the same as my quirk. My quirk lets me touch things. My quirk is called Landmine. Anything I touch, I can blow up. The explosions aren't very big though. But the more I can put a bunch of them down, as Deku says, yeah. My explosions are quite big. She says, huh, that's cool. Izuku Midoriya, where have I heard that name? She's like questioning it. She asks like, wait, like, so why do you look so ragged and stuff? And he says like, he tells her he doesn't care. He just says like, these people were torturing him. They were beating on him. They were putting him on the verge of death like every day for I don't even know how long, like 3 years maybe. She's shocked. She's like, why would people torture a kid for 3 years? And she asks, and he says apparently they were trying to get something called a quirk awakening or something, or they were just trying to get my quirk to the absolute maximum potential that it could be. As she's shocked. She's like, how could people do something so cruel? Like, that's just inhumane. Yeah, so she's just like, that's just horrible. As she takes him to her house, she like welcomes him in, and she says like, do you want a shower or anything? You can help yourself to the house. I really don't mind. And she starts searching around in the newspapers and stuff, because she's heard the name Izuku Midoriya and like a detonation quirk somewhere. As she's looking around, and Deku, he goes in the shower, he washes himself off, because he hasn't been washed off in 3 years. And yeah, so he washes himself off, and about 10 minutes later he gets out. As he walks back in, she gives him a change of clothes, which are a little bit big for him, but yeah. So yeah, she tells him, like, she brings out a newspaper and she puts on the table, and she asks like, is this him? And she points to a thing, and it says young boy being a murder, like with the detonation explosion quirk, like killing thugs and all that in alleyways and heroes. As he doesn't respond, he's just looking at the paper. As she just nods her head, and she's like, it's okay, I won't tell anybody. How about I take you to my work? And he's asked, where do you work? And she says, I work at a kind of reporters agency, but that's not where I'm going to take you. I'm going to take you somewhere else. I'm going to take you to my second workplace. As he's kind of curious. If you got that, then that's good. He's kind of curious as she puts him in the car and they drive off, and Deku sees he's leaving the city. As he's wondering like, what's going on? Why are we leaving the city? And he asks like, where are we going? She says, we're going to a place called Daika City. And Deku's like, where is it? And she says, oh, it's about 30 minutes away, 40 minutes away. It's not too far from a drive. As he's like, okay. As he just falls asleep. Deku just falls asleep, and she just smiles, happy that he's at ease and that he can sleep. As they drive and they get to Daika City, as they get out at a large building in the center of the city, as they go inside, they meet Chitose's associates, as she reintroduces herself as Curious of the Meta Liberation Army. As Deku, his eyes widen and he realizes where he is, as a tall man with a long nose and orange hair. He walks in and he asks, Curious, who's this boy? And she says, this is who the media like to call Detonate. And that is where we're going to end off this part of What If Deku Had an Explosion. Work if you guys did enjoy this part, be sure to smash the subscribe and like button. And yeah, just remember, God is awesome. You guys are too. And let's just, yeah, have a great day.